First of all, your mother took me and said, listen here, come here, let's sit down. Let's not sit there. Let's go sit somewhere else. I will tell you something that you don't know. Because if you're sitting with the same people, you won't listen to me. You won't hear what I'm about to tell you. You see.
Here we are back again with yours truly, the maniac. I am Thando Nkonyana. This is yet another episode in which we're going to go through the concrete jungle as well. I have my father, I have my mentor, I have someone who I hold in high regard in my presence, and it's so important for us as we go through the journey, Grootman, for us to reflect on the everyday things, what we learn, what we could do better, and so on. We're currently in the month of June, which is a winter season in the southern hemisphere. This is also a moment for me to be grateful, first of all, to the Almighty, the one that gives us life. If He still wakes you up, then it means He's not done with you. I do apologize if you can hear the rain in the background. It's due to the winter season, but we're not going to let that get into our way. But here we are again. The Almighty gave us yet another day. I'm so excited. I'm using the mic once again. When the Lord gives you opportunity to make things right, He gives you that opportunity for a reason. And I feel like every hardship, Grootman, that we go through is a hardship that prepares us for what is coming ahead. And I think back to your words, especially at a time where I didn't have what I have at this moment, and you kept on reminding me, by Tipla, it will get better. Your success is next to you. And I know ngamanye amaxesha it does feel like imithi ayikho, but then funeke uzibuze ba where would I be if I didn't trust in the Lord? Like, my life is as unique as it comes, and one of the most important things for me is not to live it like someone else, because my life is different conditions. But in within what I've seen and the impact that you've had as my father in my life is the belief that you're always trying to instill in me. The small stuff that you're appreciative of, because someone's presence can make a difference in whatever happens in life. And a few weeks ago, you were writing on social media celebrating your big brother's birthday. Happy belated birthday to Tamos, Mr. Moses Kula. And it still shows that in within everything that happens, family is number one. We can have differences, but at the end of the day, when something bad will happen in within the family, we have to put those differences aside and actually be there for one another. So I wouldn't have gotten to where I am without your contribution. This is me having a conversation with someone else on the other day. I'm like, he time I am there because he took me from when I was young. I was still young at that time, and like an example about that day, because it started with that conversation that my mother had with you to say, but also she was helping you as well, coming into reality about what was happening in terms of your personal relationship with my aunt and bringing you back to reality. So what I'd like you to start with, Grootman, is just talk me through that conversation that you had with my mother and the outcome that you'll be like, okay, I think this guy might need a male output, but then in within wanting a male output, you also trusted in the fact that I could use my head to see where you were coming from. So talk me through what's going on in your mind when my mother is having that conversation about this young man. I was still young, guys, at that time.
First of all, bro, thank you for the opportunity you gave me to be here, bro. You see, I really appreciate that. Every time you get a chance to sit together, I just share the moment with the people. Thank you, bro. I appreciate that, bro, a lot. And the time you always been there for me, at the time that was hard for me, bro. I appreciate this opportunity. And from that day, bro, you know, in life, you always face difficulties. It doesn't matter if you're old,
yes,
or middle age, if you're young. You see, you learn from each other. You know, once I was going down the road, bro. No one was caring what was going on about me. One day, first of all, your mother took me and said, listen here, come here, let's sit down. Let's not sit there. Let's go sit somewhere else. I will tell you something that you don't know. Because if you're sitting with the same people, you won't listen to me. You won't hear what I'm about to tell you. You see. So you go chill somewhere else. Not just be chilling, getting happy, just to give me the information, what is really going on in life. She's like a sister, a mother figure, you see. Like we are sharing the same blood, what we are staying in the same yard.
Yes.
So
yes.
you're knowing about the situation, what's around about us, you see. She told me that, look here, don't give up. Because what is going on around you, I can see that what is really going on, but don't even ignore that, you see.
Because it is happening.
It is happening. It will still happen.
Yes.
You see. Sometimes you ignore something that you know that I love this thing. Don't be ignorant, bro. You must learn from what is happening around you.
Yes, man.
So that's why she told me that, listen, what is going on? Is it what is going on in life? From now on, you must learn this. Don't always believe what you see by your eyes. Don't ever believe with people and friends who always do nothing for you, who always show you the way around that you don't even know where you are going.
Yes.
But you're going down the drain instead of going up. You see, few points that I learned from her. One day we sit with her again. I told her, no man, you told me something that gave me strength. So it's, you know, in life, other things, it's not even easy, bro. Easy in life. Everything is very hard. And it's very rare in life you find someone like her who always motivate you, that you see what is going around in life. This is what is going on in life. Excuse me. So as from that day, I learned something new, that okay. And also, if someone that you know, he or she is giving you positive information,
yes,
you can keep to yourself, and you must share to someone you know that someone's gonna use that information.
Yes.
You see?
Pass that information to the next person.
To the next person. That's why you say to me, I'm like a father figure, I'm your friend. It's vice versa. I'm like to you. You're like a son to me. You're like a friend. Everything I didn't have in that time. You see? Still now, you still are. Same thing, you're still going up and still going strong together. Still sharing more stuff together. And we believe in each other.
Yes.
So that's why I told her, listen, now let me be my turn now to share this information. This is what is going on now. Let's change the subject now. It's my time now to give you, to tell you what I don't like. What is going around? This guy Tando is fucking brilliant. Sorry to say that my word, because I was crossed.
No, don't worry. The podcast is something that is explicit.
You see, because you know why I was worried about that time. Because sometimes friends, you may think that they love you. They don't love you. But some they do, but some they destroy you.
Yes.
You must learn to be on your own, to build yourself, not always to be around the people who convince you otherwise. What I'm seeing when I'm sitting there, I don't like what is always happening around town, because this guy is brilliant. Fortunately enough, she was having the same mind like me. She said, no, I always tell Tando, this is not this going on. This is, you must stick to me and you must fight that thing. Sorry. You must try to fight that. That, no, those people, they mustn't always hang around with him, you see, because I can see the people that get influencers. I've been down that road before. You see? You can see the atmosphere where you are going. Where you going, the ending? Some of your friends, look where they are. I don't try to make myself better.
But you are making a very good example.
You see, because you are the example, my bro. You come from the difficult situation around your family. You've grew up, you know the way you've grew up, bro. You see, some people, you grew in that situation, you grew up, bro. They told themselves, no, man, I can't handle this. They'd rather do this. You see the other side of, see, let me smoke or drink.
Yeah,
No
they
one
make
cares
they make
about
yeah they make
excuses.
yes
You see, the excuses. You see,
to not actually be in reality with what's
what I'm
happening.
trying to say. You see, so as from me, your mother, I won't lie, me bro. She played a big role in my life, me bro. Changing my thoughts, the way I was thinking, and the way I was living, bro. So now you must learn to remember those who love you. Wherever you're going, the words those who put you in the place where you are today. Must never forget. Because without them, maybe you wouldn't be here.
Exactly, Tamir.
Those
Exactly.
good words motivate you every time you're in a difficult position. So, my bro, every moment I get, I like that we share the same information every time we meet. Must try to grow one another. So for as from me, I won't lie. I'm proud of you, maybe. You come long way, maybe. That's why I always tell you, this road's got harms, me, bro.
You are the one who told me this roller coaster.
Roller coaster got harms, me, bro.
Sometimes it feels like the roller coaster is going down. That is when you must hang on.
That is why I always tell you, if you are happy, everything is going smooth.
Don't be happy for too long. Because something is going to change eventually, very soon. It's going to change very soon.
Life, you must try hard, even you are in a bad situation. You must try hard to be in advance, bro. Everything must be step ahead.
Yes.
Step ahead. You know that what is going about to happen. You see, you know that the next step now, if you are happy, the next step now, something bad is going to come happening.
And then you have to handle that bad thing.
Exactly. When that dead end strikes, it's going to be one after another, bro. You see, where they want you what? They want you to give up. You tell yourself, no.
I've been through the toughest. I can't. I think those are also the decisions that will either determine whether your life gets better or it does get worse. Because I don't want to lie. In some instance, to me, what also helped is the way my mother also raised me. As my mother, she abused alcohol. But in many instances, she was always like, I love you, my child. Because to me, what you did for me at such a young age was a way in which my mother showed me that she loved me. Because you have this movie way, this Hollywood way of thinking that someone who loves you is going to tell you, I love you, I love you, I love you. But love is a doing word. It's a verb. It's an action. It's more than just words, because anybody and anyone can tell you I love you now, but their action might not correspond with that. So I think within what she was doing as well was reminding me that as your mother, even tough love is love. That is something I learned the hard way. Because now, let's just fast forward a bit. During those days where you used to give up your own money for me to go to school, and yet I will come to you dressed in full uniform, I'm like, and then you would be,
I remember those days, bro.
You would be on my mother's case to say, why did you eat all the money and yet you knew your son wants to go to school? And you would give up your last cent to say, hey, I will make a plan, go to school. Because there I am, dressed from head to toe, ready to go. And I would tell you that I don't mind if I get something to go there. Don't worry about the food. The feeding scheme is there. As long as I get there. As long as I get there. This is one thing I've mentioned as well previously with Kanya. Shout out to Nontoloana Kanya, who's been on the podcast. He's going to be on more episodes as well. To me, my home situation didn't matter. If I'm at school, this is why I get better. I don't become the Tando that I am if I become a victim of my situation. Let me take you back to when I failed grade 10. It was unbelievable for most people, but that was a learning curve. I'm 16 years old at the time. I'm doing pure maths. I'm doing physical sciences. I'm with the wrong crowd at school. I'm bunking school. I'm busy with girls. All those kind of things. Because you're a teenager, you're like, my actions won't catch up to me. Now it goes to a point where now they're calling my mother. Sorry. They're calling my mother now. Your son doesn't come to school. Can't get through to the mother because she doesn't have a phone. My mother's also dealing with stuff. Comes end of the year. You know, homos, your actions always catch up with you. Now the new year starts. What happened is now we are at the assembly where they're going to send people to grade 12, grade 11, and others are going to be sent to grade 10 if they failed. Now we are there, we are in the crowd. And they start to separate us now to say, okay, this is going to be the new grade 11 class.
This is where you realize that.
This is where I realized that, okay,
now,
my actions have outcomes.
yeah.
In most people,
now.
in most people, it was very, they were flabbergasted. They were like, no, not Thando. But they didn't know that I was also a person. I was going through stuff, which is, up until this day, I'm grateful for that I failed. Without me failing, there are certain things I wouldn't have learned. Without me doing all those things that I caught up to, I wouldn't be able.
Exactly.
Because now what happens after that, Damir, I come back home. For the first 2 weeks of school, I'm not going to school. What is my excuse? My school trousers are broken. My school shoes are open. I'm sitting in front and my grandfather, the late Junior Kubutela, comes to me and says, you see this situation happening in this house. People are drinking here. People don't care. Are you going to school for yourself or are you going to school for them? We know you are smart. This is the guy that called me Master Nkonyan. And he's like, are you going to sit here and make excuses that your trousers don't go to school? Your shoes don't go to school. You go to school. I begged your wife.
Those were the powerful words.
I said to your wife, come on, this is my aunt, guys. I said to her, I failed in school. I know you're going to be disappointed in me, but in order for them to take me back, I need to go with a parent there. My mother, I know she's not going to go. So let me get a bit of money. We travel, we go to school. You go and represent me. You are going to tell Mr. Nivold that Thando is going to be bought a train ticket. He is going to come to school every day, because to reenact a story and make the audience aware, I did not fail because I was dumb. I failed because I was not attending school. The number one most important thing is for you to be there, and I wasn't there. I would come to school. By break time, I'm bunking with my friends. To do what? To smoke weed. That is all. Go home early, and it feels... You feel like you will never be caught up until you get caught. And being caught meant that I repeat grade 10. Now I'm sitting with the decision of begging my aunt. Eventually I get the money, we go to school. When I get there, immediately Mr. Nivo tells my aunt what is going on. Thando is a very brilliant student, but Thando is with the wrong crowd.
Yeah. I'm glad that your teacher told you the truth.
Because that guy knew me from grade 8. He knew me from grade 8. Now I'm in grade 10 and I'm catching all of these things. It's like, it's understandable because he's a teenager. He's going through all this stuff. And while he's going through all of these things, at the end of the day, he has to come back to his senses. So now my question is, Thando, do you want to finish school? Or do you want to be like your friends? Because you know what happened? 80% of my friends that I used to catch up shit with were all evicted of school. He showed me a record. You see this one? He's always caught with weed. He's always caught smoking. This one, we called their parents 3 times. In my head, I'm like, I'm sitting with these guys, but I don't know what's happening.
Because
Exactly. Bona bafuna corrupt ka. The main thing is they want you to become like them.
That's why I always tell you there are those people who drag me to hell. Those who want to drag me along because they have nothing to lose.
Exactly. They want you to become like them.
You must
So
be careful of those people.
That is one thing that I saw, that the reality, I think this is also the shift that had me in a mindset of your home situation is not like someone else's home situation. Because I had to ask myself, am I the type of student that has their parents called? Because this is one instance we got caught bunking and then we were put in the car. We were taken back to school. While this guy is going to call the principal, Sabaleka, we left the school premises immediately. Apo ndabona khona to me that handimoshakele ngoku. Handimoshakele if I'm doing these things ngoku. Ayiyo.
Go far, bro.
And you know what the outcome was? It's also that failure. So 80% of these people are not there anymore. Now Mr. Nivot is like, Thando, do you want to come to school? Do you want to learn? Do you want to finish grade 12? Because I know you are capable of more. You've told me multiple times what your home situation is, because people used to make fun of me. They're like, yo, you can't be this clever and going through all these things. I'm like, guys, this is my life. It made me ashamed, but eventually I think that year made me own it. I had a mother that drinks. My father was not in my life. My biological father left me at 10 years old. But one power that I did have is I had a hunger for education. I wanted to be there. I was like, Mr. Nivot, I'm not going to give you trouble from here onwards. And the biggest blessing he did me, he gave me Mr. Effendi. Very tough, disciplinary teacher. And you know what the first words of Mr. Effendi when I got into grade 10 class? He said, you're not going to give me trouble this year. In within this year, there are the likes of Nasip Nchinchi, Bruce Makazi, Mvuyisi Nzala, Nwabisa Mqobo, and a whole lot of other people who I can't think of at this moment that were in that class. They did not even say a word of judgment. They only hugged me and told me it's going to be all right. They know what I'm capable of. We're just going to not do the same things that we did previously. We move. Fast forward to grade 12. I am RCL. I've been to the grade 12 camp.
Upgrade, right?
I'm a prefect.
Right.
It's based on what? It's the belief that these people put in me to say that we know what you are capable of. Because once I started that year, I was like, I'm not going to have the same friends. Because I'm a people's person. I was so capable of much more, but I had to face the hard stuff about myself to say, okay, I was the reason why I failed. I was with the wrong crowd. I was entertaining a lot of things that were not good for me. I was ashamed of my outcome, where I came from, my mother, and all of those things. And all those things led me to my failure. So I had to take accountability. Also at home, you were also playing a very, very important part. Reminding me how smart I am. Reminding me how respectful I am. And even to this day, Khotman, ever since you've been in my life, I've never given you any trouble in terms of disrespecting you.
That's true, bro.
Because that is not the way that I was raised.
Very true.
Just because I come from the home situation I come from doesn't give me an opportunity to be disrespectful. This is the reason why our relationship continues to prosper. For me to understand my role as a son and for you to understand your role as a father. I cannot judge you, you're a person. And now I am a father myself to a little baby girl called Ringomso. Now I think about what you instilled in me and how important it is for you to be honest with me, to say, Thando, choose the right friends. Thando, you are smart. Even when I work through the manhood journey, I always talk about the podcast when I say the man who contributed a lot did not even say a lot. All those people who talked a lot, they had nothing valuable to say. Tamea, you said to me, Sawubonana xa ubuye. and your eyes are going to be open. You must just watch. I watched and I listened. You came after a week and you told me, yeah, Ncebad.
Deep.
Yeah.
Hey, brother. You come a long way.
You see how beautiful that is? That's why I always remind you, you are very important even now. It is working in your life the same way it's working in mine. Because you kept the belief. Difuna every single day for you to remind yourself of the part that you played in me becoming the man that I am. From that young boy whose mother reached out to you to teach you things that even till this day, may her soul rest in peace, that is my mother, Noluthando Shamin Konyana. Phumle kahle mampele. Kodwa amandla akho awacinga phelele entweni. Because I talk to that woman every day. Before I walk out this door, I say, Mama, thethelela.
Uyayazi mfethu. Ngithetha because wazifuna ixaxisa. Uyayazi mfethu. Enanto eyindibangela uba inhliziyo yami ibebuhlungu. Ndive kabuhlungu. Base ikhathazekile. Athi uyabona uthando akanimameli. Uhlala nechomi zakhe ndiyapheka apha uthethe naye. Ujula imbiza yakhe naye ndithi no, just because now xa uthetha naye awuthethi ngendlela right, because na abantu ahleli nabo ubona la crowd ahleli naye
He's putting a show on.
Because now alizukwazi kuyothetha naye, bazawuhamba abantu mthethe naye. Ekugqibeleni I know what you are trying to do, and ifuna noxoka Joe. One thing for sure about your late mother, whenever sasiyapha siyakhona sihamba khona, ayithi make sure lo sente beyifumene buye noma amazamba namabini noba ikomityi rice. You must tell me if I'm lying, bro.
You're not lying at all.
Make sure ba noba ukekele kanjani noba usela kanjani nilala nikile, bro.
She could drink as much as she can, but she was like, my kids will be fed.
Exactly. But make sure always you guys, you come first, Miss Bro. Abantwana bakhe. Even now and then, that time you woke up in the morning, you dress to go to school. If then ngomnye umuntu mose nningazukunika lo mali, they say,
why should
you
I?
will show that you want to go to school. It doesn't matter if you show up at school at 12 o'clock.
You are there.
You better late than never, bro.
Exactly.
Your parents yakho iyakuthethelela kuyo yonke into.
I was fit for work.
Yeah. That is why you find out sometimes because ukuthi ndiba benemali yokhwela ufike ekseni ukujonga uthi tameya sizule first question enombuza yona ndithi kuyo your late mother. Ubunemali izolo ndithe isapha ndigcine.
Ubucingela uthando.
Ndithi lo nto because naye ulapha akangeni indawo. Ndithi ndigcine kodwa yazi ekseni kuzoba njani. Because aba bantu buhleli nabo izolo abekho ngoku. Ndithi andithethi lona ndizamnika le yam nazaphuma ngomnyango uzaba late manje ndiye emsebenzini manje ndiyonika le yam zofunela imali yokhwela. Ndala ukubona la xesha inqabile umuntu kwabanye abantu kule situation wawukuyo ngoku. Do you ever think that bakule ndawo kuyo ngoku?
No.
Because angabaphakami bese xa bebona situation yalapha inhlalo kuphilwa kuyo inje sasifundiswa loo nto esikoleni bafollowisha loo nhlalo bakwenzeka loo nto endlini, so xa ingakwazi ukwenzeka kum rather nami go with the flow, brother, nothing I can do about that because ayenzeki le nto iyifunayo.
But I chose otherwise.
Wena uba hayi jonga, this is what I want. You see, there's no use must uba nami ndizawuncesa le situation ndikuyo
Ndizawufana naye.
Somebody angwakho because ndizawufana nabo because nothing's going to be changed because additional you're going to add more to the situation. You make the situation better.
Yes. And people don't comprehend how difficult that decision was because they see me where I am. but they don't see the decisions I had to take to get to where I am.
I'm telling you, it's not easy, brother. It's not easy.
They don't see the decisions that I had to make. They don't see those internal fights I had to fight with myself, because the majority of the time I was lonely, Tamea. It felt like the decisions I was making were not going to have a good outcome. But when I look back now, and all the things that I've went through and I created, and this is partly one of the reasons why this podcast exists in the same place, for me to be able to retract and go back to be like, if I didn't make that decision back then, if I didn't listen to you. But you also reminded me that it's not just about listening, it's also about thinking for yourself, Thand. I know you are capable to think for yourself and do for yourself, because what's the use I tell you everything and then that thing you don't go out and do it for yourself?
Exactly.
It means there's ingenabi pumengapa ya.
So what's the use?
So what's the use? So to me, when I think about my brother, because he's practically my brother, my younger brother, he grew up in a different situation. He didn't endure the struggle the same way that I did. I'm not saying because I went through struggle I'm better than him. No. It's because struggle shapes you. It makes you strong. It makes you resilient. That's why when tough times come, now you are able to handle them, to say, okay.
Because you've been there in that situation.
Exactly.
You know how that situation
Exactly. I know how that situation was. And it's also about the decision I used to make by myself. So I used to look dumb because all I want to do is go to the library and read. But I always love to read. I love knowledge. And at the end of the day, when someone like your brother, Mr. Funani Kula, tells me, "Oh, what does that tell you?" The apple doesn't fall far from the tree. My mother was smart. But then, just because my mother was smart doesn't mean I mustn't work hard to keep that smartness. You can be smart, but then you do wrong things. And what happens? You end up... We had a conversation online on our way to recording this that you said about drugs and how they just don't mess your body up. They mess up your mindset as well. Now you no longer have an ability to think again. We must be careful as young people and also as older people what we indulge ourselves in, because we have to live with the outcomes. I've never done drugs in my life. I stopped smoking weed. I stopped drinking alcohol because those were the decisions I had to make for myself. It's not to say I'm better than you, but I can't become a product of my environment. I need to think about the outcomes of, will I be proud of myself? I smoked weed for 14 years. But then I grew tired. I grew tired. When you grow tired of certain things, and success demands sacrifice. I'm not saying someone who smokes doesn't want to be successful. There are many people, but it's mainly about the decision, the conversation that I had to have with the self. I want to be a good example. I have a daughter, so she mustn't think that just because my father is doing bad things, it's all right. No. The influence that we have on our kids, but it's decision I had to make for myself. Yes, someone might see me and say, "Hey, Wena, you think you are better." It's not about being better. It's about me and the decisions that I had to make. So it's so important for us to embrace struggle. It's so important for us to embrace where we currently are. God knows why He's putting you in that place. And if you are still there, it means there's plenty you still need to learn. Tamia, how can I own a house if I can take care of this Wendy house that I have right now? At one point, I didn't have this. I have to be thankful that He gave me this job, because He's busy testing me. When I give you this amount of money, are you going to use it to good use? Are you going to take care of your kid? Are you going to take care of your talent? Think about those trusts and the belief that other people had put in you, and you as my father. You are important in that sense. You always told me it doesn't matter what other people think about what we have. The most important thing is what we think about one another. So when you went through that difficult time just a few days ago, I was like, this is my time for you to be there for you. The same way when I go to struggle, who am I going to go to? You're going to see me and you can see, oh, Tando is not good now.
So it's going to be vice versa.
It's going to be vice versa.
It's going to be my turn.
One day it's you, the next is it's someone else.
So that's why we grew up like this. You're sharing me, bro.
Exactly.
You see?
And the beautiful thing is you always told me, Tando, it's not about age, it's about mentality. There are people who are old souls based on the mindset that they have instilled. But you living longer doesn't mean that you know better. There are people who have lived longer on this earth, but they haven't learned the essence of life, the importance of sharing, the importance of looking out for the young ones. Because in within what you were doing for me, you're also teaching me that I must think about the ones after me as well. Because people have this mentality, it was not done for me, so why should I do it for the next person? Like, our intelligence can be used to make things better. And this is how you change generational curses. You become the person that says, no more now. The next generation can't experience this. So I need to expose them to much better. Be the change that I want to see in the world. Because I can change myself. So school played a huge part in me. But it's not just school, education system, but it's also the school of life. Now we are finished with matric. What's going to happen next? I passed with the bachelor's. Everyone, hey, I'm going to varsity. Hey, I'm going here. In my head, I'm like, my home situation. I'm fighting with my mother. And just to give you more information, do you know my mother was the last person to congratulate me on getting a bachelor's pass? But then to me, it was confirmation that it was not on me to care about that. What was on me is to be as realistic as possible. So I get into University of Western Cape. It takes almost the entire month of February just to register me. Mind you, I have no food in my stomach. I'm jumping trains just to get to varsity. Every time I get there, NAFSAS has not approved my application. When I'm there, Tameya, what do I see? I'm seeing people who have support. Their families are there. And in my head, I'm like, this is what I wanted for myself. People don't realize how much support you need. But as much as I also needed support, there was nothing at home. Awutyanga, but funa ukuya esikolweni. Awupase kakhe yiya esikolweni. Eventually they approve, but they only cover a registration. In my head, I'm like, immediately I'm not coming back. But you know the beautiful thing that happened on that day I decided I'm not coming back? I saw my best friend from primary school. Shout out to Lifa Mapalani. I hope this episode gets to your ears, brother. And I remember that day, sikhwele train ebuyela kwaLanga, and now you were on that train, usuke UWC. You were there as well. The same year, because I matriculated 2015. 2016 I was there. And Ulifa and I were. That is my best friend from grade R, Rosemead Central Primary. And I met him, and I won't forget the face that he had. How surprised he was. He was like, Tando. Because to my head, I thought people forget.
Yeah.
But people don't forget. You think people forget, they don't. They never forget. And it was so hard. But that is the most beautiful thing ever that I got from that day. And you know what I did from there onwards? I never looked back. I didn't even need to sit with my mother, but I was fighting with her. Because Jan Bonba, I'm not going to school. She's like, I'm not going back there. I'm hungry in my stomach. I have to jump trains. I have no money. No, like that is not enough.
You need more support.
You need support.
Support.
That was the most important thing,
This is a varsity.
because yes, it's a different landscape.
Yeah.
That is not high school.
When you just said now, you saw the people with more support. You see, even if a little bit of support would have motivated you that time. You see,
To continue.
You see, you get maybe step by step other support that you need that time. 3 things you don't have. Tertiary. It will be very hard for you to reach there. So I'm not trying to cover up for you, but in that stage, bro, things will change. It's not a high school anymore, it's a tertiary school level.
So that is what I had to face. Now I'm back home and people say I'm ungrateful because I didn't use my results to proceed. University.
Easy to say.
It's very easy, and in most cases I always told them, you're not in my shoes. You are not me. Don't make decisions for me. I know the struggle that I went through. And you know what I did that year, Tamea? This is 2016. And you know the decision I made after that was, I'm going to be somebody. The school system did not work out. I did not go to varsity, but I can still go to school. Now I turn my head towards YouTube. The knowledge that I have of computers was the decision I took then. I might not go to conventional high school as in tertiary, but YouTube is going to be my school. I have love for technology, Tamea. And then I have this inquisitive mind, and I'm always willing to learn. So I was like, direct yourself towards the things that you love. Because even at a younger age, people used to, I have trouble with my phone, can you fix this for me? I have this, can you fix this for me? This is where I started to turn. And within doing all of those things, the most important thing for me was that my life is only starting now. Because remember, the educational system is done now. The school of life is starting now. Takes me back to the words of my geography teacher. Shout out to Mr. Fukwe. He says, welcome to the concrete jungle. This is a term I took from him because now we are competing with those who have been looking for work. He says, the moment you finish writing that last exam and you get your results, you are part of the unemployment stats. You are competing with millions of other people who have not got work.
Which is true, bro. Still today is a reality.
That is the reality that he brought us to.
Oh.
And he was like, if you don't sharpen your tools, this is your mind. You are going to be insolvent. You are going to be young. This is how you're going to go into drugs and all those kind of things. But that teacher, Tamir, sometimes he would just put school stuff aside. And he said, I'm thinking about you, darkies. I don't care about the colored. The colored, he has his uncle who has a plumbing business. You can go there and ask for a job from his uncle. When are you black kids? What are you going to do? If university doesn't work out, what are you going to do? The workforce already is full of people. You're going to have to go and compete with millions of other. What are you going to do? That is who I care mostly about. And those conversations used to hit my heart. Because those are part of the things I went through in my mind to go back and say, hey, our teacher was already preparing us for this. So I go full into YouTube. Comes an opportunity in late December. I start my first call center job. You know the first thing I bought myself? A 32-inch plasma screen. Something I'd been preaching myself that one day I'm going to get myself a TV. Nobody's going to stop. One day I'm going to get myself a gaming console. I'm going to have internet. All the things that my mother was not be able to provide. I'm going to make sure there's food in the house, because she only gave me a roof over my head. And I did all those things. But it showed how powerful I was. And that was not just me. She added that when my mother didn't care, she made me stronger. And sometimes you need that in your life for people not to care about you, even if they love you. Because in all essence, my mother was also going through stuff. She was depressed. We found out our mother had breast cancer, and she kept that away from us. Do you know what that can do to your kids if you tell them while you're still alive? It can mess you up. So to me, that was also a form of love, to shield you from information of that sense. And my mother, she was tired. She had gone through too many battles. Her armory was done. It could no longer protect. It was a time to rest. You know, Tamia, the last 2 months that I had with her, she was sitting in that Wendy house of hers with me. She couldn't do anything. And we started to have conversations about what could she have done different. And she tells me that she didn't want to marry my father. And I'm like, there's a reason why all those things are being said at that moment. So I felt like I had to prepare myself then already. I was like, you're going to lose your mother, brother. It was very hard for me to deal with that, but I felt like you can't dispute God's plan. God knows what He's doing, because He was strengthening me. But one of the most important things that I'm grateful for is that I had a mother of her caliber. A mother who, at any moment, I couldn't doubt that she loved us. I tell people all the time that she was many things, but one thing I know, she never made us feel like we are not loved. When she's drunk, pissy drunk, and she's saying, that is love. When she is in a space of drinking and she's talking about how proud she is of her children, that is love. To me, I wouldn't give that up for anything. It's better that she didn't buy us stuff and not being there than her showing that kind of love. The same love that I'm showing to my daughter, because I was loved. You see, that is love. What she did for me by getting you to talk to me and show me otherwise, that was love. It is a doing word. She knew she couldn't be able to do that herself, so she had to get you in the picture. But she also helped you in terms of what you were facing as well. And we disacknowledge the importance of a woman's role. A woman's love is unconditional. It's the same equivalent of the love that God has for us. That person, you don't even have to put a gun to her head for her to do all those stuff, because she wasn't forced to do that. That was all out of love. That is my mother. I'm proud to call her my mother. I would choose her to be my mother in another lifetime. Physically, I'm sad because she's not here. But spiritually, I am glad because she still lives with me. I call upon her name. We are talking about her. What does that mean? It means we are preserving her memory. She is not forgotten because she lives in our heart. It affects us that kind of way. So, to me, I never lost her. She is never lost. She's always available. And every victory that I get, Tamea, I always ask myself, how proud would she have been of me? Look at what her son became. Look at what her son is still going to become. And she's still contributing. So when I post my achievements, that is me celebrating her. Because they are going to say, that is Noltando's son. That is Pilani's son. We are all someone's son. We are all someone's daughter. And to everyone who still has their parents in their life, mother and father, take a moment and stop judging those people and start being grateful for them. Because the moment they are gone, brother. I used to listen to you, how you talked about your father. How important he was. And even till this day, he's still important. The very same way that my biological father is still important. It is not my part to judge him for things that I have no idea about. I'm a child. You don't know the sacrifices parents have to do to get to where they are. No matter how much someone is demonized in. But being a parent is hard. They make it easy. It's hard. You have to take pains so that your kids don't have to take that pain. So she was strengthening me. I used to live with sister wakhe ka grade 11. I ran away from my own house to go and live with that family. I want to go to school, but I can't do that at home. I left my house in grade 11 because I wanted to get an education. If it means you have to be away from where you are to get what you want, then go away. I used to live with Congolese people, Zambians, anybody who wanted me to succeed, I lived with them because I wouldn't get all of that from home. What does that say about me? It says that I couldn't make excuses. I had to find a way. I had a will. They say if there's a will, there is a way. The will was for me to finish. I needed to get over that finish line. Get that matric. The same foundation now that is helping me becoming a better person. Just because I don't have a college degree doesn't mean that I'm not better. Doesn't mean that I won't get to succeed. No. Who says that God is done with me? Who says I can't go back to school because I'm working? Doesn't mean that. But I need to always be available to the lessons that are being taught at that time. God is teaching me something about where I am right now. Must I cry? What is that going to help me? It's not going to help me at all. But one thing I will never do, I will never let my mother's hard work go to waste. She worked hard, that woman. She worked hard to make sure I was the only one who got to that school. She couldn't pay school fees, but she was like, you are going to that school. That is what parents do. So that's why I always encourage anybody that you still have your mother in your life, you still have God. You still have God in your life and you are playing with God. You're going to see one day what's going to happen. Because umama xa ivumile kuvumile kwenzeka nalapha phandle ukhuseleka kwinto ezininzi. Many things won't get into your way because you have your mother's blessing. That woman blessed me. She's still blessing me even till this day.
Which is true, bro.
So I can't take that for granted because God is at work. His spirit lives within me. One of the most important lessons I had to learn the hard way was you need to love yourself. You need to put yourself first.
I like that. So that one always keeps me going when you see, when I feel like down or always try to do something. I always remember that. I always think of you that I tell you to say you need to put yourself first.
It's your job. It's your job.
Know where you're going. I like that too.
There's a reason why God gives you that dream. There's a reason why He's putting certain people in your life. But if anyone in your life is not reminding you of your own value, What are they doing in my life? I said to my friend, if I'm not becoming better because of you, what are you doing in my life? I want to be better. Kanya said that the thing about good people is that they will tell you, no, it's all right. You don't need good people in your life. You need people that are going to tell you, hey, brother, we are here. You are lacking behind. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Don't get left behind. Because you are supposed to go in within the pace. You are supposed to grow. No. We can't leave you behind. Anybody who's not pushing you to become better, what are they doing in your life? You have nothing to contribute, Mos. So I don't want you in my life. You see? So when I say put yourself first, it means see value in yourself. Be selfish. Only you can be you, Tameya. Only I can be Utando. And that is what Lubabalo Chet Msipa, my best friend, always reminds me of. No one is you, Tando. When I first worked into that job, he said, you can see them having zonges, that you think you need. But the last thing, nobody is Utando. Nobody can be you. You are not replaceable. Once God is not going to make another you. And Joshua Maponga says, when you try to be someone else, you are depriving me of the opportunity to know you. You are denying me opportunity okwazi wena. Uzohamba 10 years uthando sezawufika nje still, because Thando thrives on being himself. So many people try to be someone else, try to live their life like there's only one Oprah Winfrey Tameya. There will never be another Oprah. There's only one Elon Musk. There will never be another Elon Musk. And Ross Doman said to me, if Elon can get 200 billion, Thando, why can't you get 400? Why not get more? Who says it's not possible? Even the number that he has was impossible until he got there. The word impossible says, I'm possible. Anything is possible. All you need to do is believe. Les Brown, and what I listened to earlier in the week, he said, keep the faith. Keep the faith. The same faith that you had, that things will work out. You must keep that going, because it will work out. And when it does, the next thing is ready to come to you. In life, there's always going to be challenges. There's always going to be levels that you need to upgrade. The reason why you are where you are is because you are being prepared for the next level. If you can't take this defeat now, imagine when he is about to bless you. How are you going to handle that? What are you doing with the 1 rand now? He can't give you 100 if you can't even use that 1 rand diligently. But you want 100 rand. We are not ready to be blessed, some of us, because God sees what we do with stuff, the smallest stuff that we had. But fundamentally, Grootman, you always remind me of gratitude. Being grateful about what you have, where you are. There's nothing that beats that. A life well lived needs to be filled with gratitude. You know, I complain all the time about my laptop being slow. But then in my head I think, hey, there's someone who doesn't even have that laptop. I'm like, why am I complaining? I'm like, hey, stop being ungrateful, Thando. Stop being ungrateful.
You know, because you know why? You are a person. We grew up like that. We used to complain about the things. Small things. You don't realize that I have this thing. You complain. Says Tameya. And now you're the person don't even have what you have. Other people I used to hear other people complain about a small thing. Even myself. Says, hey, today I'm gonna sleep up with the 2 slices of bread and the coffee.
There's someone
Some
who doesn't
days
even...
you go 3 days without food.
Hey!
But that person keeps getting strong because of the situation. You know what? You must be grateful, serious. There are other people who sleep on the street. You complain, I'm sleeping on the windy house. You see?
You are under a
You
roof.
see there, my bed is broken, the chairs, and you see I don't have like stuff like that. Because you know what? The environment that is around you changes you sometimes. Your
It plays a
mind
huge part.
Yeah, because your mind strikes somewhere else. You see that, okay, now my level is, oh, Tando, in the house. Forgetting what you have. Tando, akanayo nayo.
Which is your eyes are not on your own prize. You already have.
That's why I always tell you, don't believe everything you see. Looks can be deceiving sometimes.
Very, very good point. To our audience, looks can be deceiving. This is a man who always taught me that don't judge, observe. You see, if you take time to observe and you break things down, you'll start to see that things are not exactly how they are. Remember that point I made about the guy who used to live in our yard? And I said, no man, there's much more to things than they actually are. And you said, Tibla, hlala phansi ukubukele. Because our intuition is our sixth sense for a reason. Because I was like, the math is not adding up. Let me just sit down and observe.
Try to observe what is really going on.
And the outcome, once I did that, it's like you need to gather information. You need to be a researcher. Because you are a scientist. We forget that life is about being a scientist and the world is the lab. You must try things. Okay, this doesn't work. Try something else. Okay, this works. Okay, I will keep what works. It's always about trial and error. But in those words about observation, it gave me time so that when I gather the information and I can get a full picture so that I can make informed decisions. You can't make informed decisions without seeking information. You have to seek the information, and part of seeking information means you sit down and you listen. Some things will come to you. You don't need to go to them. But if you are making rash decisions and overthinking and making assumptions, and yet you don't have the full information.
You know what? That reminds me of the point I used to say to you. That legal knowledge is too dangerous, bro.
Very.
You may get in shit because of the legal knowledge you will have. You know, in 2 months, I listened to other lady that was passing by. That usual as the black people used to say. Yeah, always that old lady was always judgmental of the lady that she don't even knew. She tells me, you know, Puti, but to me, I don't have a problem. She's a very nice person just because the way she is.
Yes.
Just out of the blue. I'm grateful you say that. You must always observe and get research.
Yes.
Not always judge.
Mm-mm.
You see?
Because he poisoned Liana Tame.
No.
He poisoned. You could find Lamdu Loana has something in themselves that they need to go and observe.
Exactly.
But then they want you to also see that person the same way. I've been in situations of that sense as well, where someone told me, this person, I don't like them. And then I got to know this person. And you know, after getting to know this person, I told them, you know, I used to judge you from afar. Because I used to listen to what other people say about who you are. And yet, when I started to get to know you, I'm like, no man, this person is not what they say they are. And one thing I've noticed that once you start becoming the type of person that not everyone gets along with, people always find a way to assassinate your character because you are not easily influenced. You are not easily broken. you don't take things personal. And I've met many people who smiled in my face while they're destroying me, you see, in the background. So in a sense, this is the saying that I like to say: the road to hell is paved with good intention. No one destroying you will show you that they're destroying you. They smile in your face, but they are busy putting a knife in your back. That's why I like to say, have your own back. I have my own back. You have your own back. In a sense, stand for something or you will fall for anything. I am very scared of a person who doesn't stand for nothing, even if they have nothing. Stand for something, anything. And this is why a majority of us are falling for anything, is because too quick to believe. Back to the point we made. Don't judge, observe. Judging is for the Creator. He made us. He's the only person who has that ability. But I am human as well. If I'm going to be judging you, and then the next day, it's me who's going to be in the very same situation.
You're going to be judged.
You are going to be judged as well.
How are you going to feel when it comes to you?
Yes.
It goes like that. Other way around.
This thing called life is very funny sometimes, yes?
It's true. You may see things happening far away from you. You may not think that one day is going to come back to you. How it feels, it comes back to you.
Now you can't apply the same thing. If been out indeed, up until it does happen.
Exactly.
And then you can't do the things that you were saying you were going to do. What's happening? Do it, Kalok, do it. You said it, if it was you, you would have done A, B, and C. Do it, Kalok.
Yeah, because you thought it's not going to come back to you. Now it's here now. And you won't even notice when it's coming back to you. Then it's right there now, you said. And then solve it. You do nothing.
The Almighty knows why He's putting us in this position. I'm only being prepared for my greatness. I said that to someone earlier in the week. I don't care who you are. If you are in the way of my greatness, I will go through you. I am not here to make friends. You don't need to like me. You see, but sometimes your light will ignite other people's darkness. And someone said to me, why are you smiling? I'm like, why am I smiling? Why shouldn't I smile? I am here. I woke up. I have clothing on my back. I have food in my stomach. I have a roof over my head. I woke up in my right mind. Why shouldn't I smile? I'm heading towards my greatness. Why shouldn't I smile? But it shows that people like misery. They say misery loves company. Miserable people like to be with other miserable people. So when we are not instilling faith in everything that we do, maniacs, just to close this one off, we become enemies of greatness. Our biggest, and I'm saying this, our biggest obstacle is ourselves and what we think about what we want and deserve. I don't become the man that I become if I don't believe otherwise. Like, it's your job to believe in yourself and trust that the Almighty is working in your life. Big shout out to Mr. Joshua Kula, who I appreciate a lot. This is my father, guys. This is my mentor. This is my brother. This is my friend. This is a very humble man who is also seeking life himself. I want the Almighty to intervene in his life. I want his ancestors as well to intervene in his life. I want them to protect him from all the evil that is been conspired into the spiritual realm. I ask of my ancestors as well, for anybody who is manifesting evil plans in my name, let those plans come not to fruition. but instead back to them. Because do you know how much power and how much energy you have to do to destroy someone's life? It says a lot about you as a person. It says that you are not happy with yourself so much that you have to go to the dark side to prevent another person. But don't think we walk alone. I never walk alone. When you are trying to destroy me, you're not only trying to destroy me, you are trying to destroy me and my ancestors as well. But do not think that lam to hamba yedwa, ahambi yedwa. So I want every plan that wants to destroy what we have, Damia, to end up in the very same phase, back to the sender. Because it will not come to fruition.
Amen, brother.
Thank you very much, Mr. Joshua Kula, for this. Maniacs, this is yet another one. Season 7, as I said, is that season where we diverge even further. This is very personal to me. Whether you are listening or not, I don't care. Because I know my success is next to me. As the motivational maniac, I thank everyone who got an opportunity to listen to this piece of greatness. Until another episode, namaste.